Good morning, good afternoon and good evening. Welcome to Smashing English. Before we start this video, we are really hoping to get to 115,000 subscribers by the new year, so click that subscribe button. And with that said, let's get on with the video. Phrasal verbs. They are horrible. Every student I teach hates them because they are so hard to learn. Why are they so hard to learn? A lot of the time, the meaning has nothing to do with the words you are using. For example, pass out has nothing to do with passing or being out. It's to do with fainting. It's very hard to learn, but don't worry, take it easy, take it slow, you will be absolutely fine. I recommend to my students to learn one phrasal verb a day, try to use it as much as you can, and you'll be fine. But in this video, I'm going to be giving you some of the most common phrasal verb mistakes I hear as an English teacher, so that hopefully you don't make the same mistakes. Let's get started. Okay, mistake number one. Have a look at this sentence and tell me if you think there's anything wrong with it. I look forward to be there. Is there anything wrong with this sentence? Yes, there is. Look forward to is a really common phrasal verb. It means waiting for something eagerly, you are excited for something and you can't wait for it to happen. However, a lot of my students don't know how to complete the sentence after that. So if you are looking forward to doing a verb, the verb needs to have an ing on the end of it. So we can say, I look forward to being there. Say, I look forward to seeing you. Okay, moving on to mistake number two. Let's stay with the verb look for this second mistake because a lot of my students get mixed up with look phrasal verbs. And that's fair enough. There are so many phrasal verbs with the verb look. So let's have a little quiz and see how well you do. Okay, what does look after mean? Have a think before I tell you. What does look after mean? It means to care for someone or something. So I need to look after my children tonight. I need to look after my neighbour's house while they're away. Okay, look after. Very confusing because the word after has nothing to do with the meaning, but that's just what we say. Okay, now what about this one? Look into. Look into. What does it mean? What does it mean? It means to investigate or to learn more about. I'm going to research. I'm going to find out more about this thing. To look into. Now, what about these two? Look up to and look down on. Now, watch out for the to and on. They're different. Look up to, look down on. What do they mean? Okay, so let's start with look up to. I want you to imagine a child who is quite small looking up to a parent or an older person. That's kind of what this means. If you look up to someone, you think they are amazing, they are higher than you, you admire them. Wow, I want to be like that. Like a child looking up to their mother thinking, wow, I want to be just like you. So when we look up to someone, we admire them, we respect them, we think they are greater than us. So if that's look up to, what do you think look down on means? Exactly. Thinking someone is lower than you, thinking they are worse than you, they don't deserve your attention, you look down on them. Okay, these are really common, really useful. So just think about the little child, look up to, and then a very snooty lady, look down on. Okay, this one seems simple, but a lot of my students get it wrong. Look at. When do we use this one? Correct. Look at when we are looking at something. It's different to look to, okay? Look at, look to. Look at is very common, it's very simple. Here is a thing, I am looking at it. Look to feels a lot more distant. We might say, I'm looking to the future. It's far away, I'm picturing something in front of me, but maybe it's not really there. I'm looking to the stars for inspiration. They're far away. I don't understand them. They're so distant from me. Or we might say look to when we talk about turning to someone for help or advice. So we might say, in times of trouble, I look to my parents. I look to them. I turn my attention towards them and say, help me. So don't mix those two up. Now, similar to look up to, what about just look up on its own? Not look up to, just look up on its own. What does that one mean? Correct, to research, to find something on the internet, in a dictionary, in an encyclopedia. I'm going to look that up. I need to find out more information about that. And this is the other phrasal verb with look that I hear a lot of mistakes with. Look ahead. What does that mean? Look ahead. Normally we say look ahead to. Exactly. It means planning your future, visualizing a future goal. I'm looking ahead to 2023 and I'm excited for what I'm going to do in that year. There are a few more phrasal verbs with look, but I can't stay here all day, so go on the internet and type in phrasal verbs with look and just make sure you're aware of the differences between them. Okay, moving on to probably the biggest mistake I hear with phrasal verbs from my students. And that mistake is, stop right there, police! No, I'm just kidding, it's not the police, it's still just me, hello! But I want to take this opportunity to tell you about a fabulous deal. So, you're learning English, right? I know you are. Do you want to do it in a fun way? Do you want to do it quickly? Do you want to do it and maybe get 100% of your money back? I know you do. Let me tell you how to do it. If you've seen my other videos, you will have heard me speak about LINGODA. LINGODA is a fabulous online language school that offer 24/7 classes from fully qualified teachers in English. They also teach other languages, but I guess you're here for English. I've used LINGODA to help me with my French, and honestly, it does not compare to anything else I've tried. It is fabulous. It's so quick, it's so flexible, you can do it anywhere. You take lessons with a variety of different teachers, which means you can have experience listening to different accents and different styles of speaking. They really focus on human interaction and maximum conversation time. Trust me, you need to practice your conversation. My videos are fabulous. I'm very proud of my videos, but if you just watch my videos, you won't become a fluent English speaker. You need to practice actually speaking it with a person, I promise. But I know what you want. You want to know how you can get 100% of your money back. Trust me, I would be exactly the same. So LINGODA do these things called sprint challenges, and there are two different types. We have the sprint challenge. Take 15 lessons per month for 2 months, and if you attend all of the classes, you get 50% of your cash back. And then there's the super sprint challenge. Take 30 lessons a month for 2 months, and if you attend all of those classes, you get 100% of your money back. Amazing! If you're like me and you lose motivation really easily, having that end goal of I could get 100% of my cash back really helps you to stick to it. So if you're looking to reach new heights in English, then the LINGODA language sprint is exactly what you need. Click the link below for more information, and if you use my code SMASHINGSPRINT, you can get €20 or $25 off your sprint registration. You are welcome. Thank you, LINGODA, and on with the video. Okay, like I said, this is one of the most common mistakes I hear with phrasal verbs from my students. So when you're learning a phrasal verb, don't just learn the phrasal verb and the meaning. You need to learn if it's separable or inseparable. So every phrasal verb is either inseparable, separable, or both sometimes. And what that means is, can you put a word in between the 2 words or the 3 words of the phrasal verb? For example, put away, to put something away. We can either say, I need to put away my shirts. Inseparable, okay? We're not separating it. It stays together. Put away my shirts. Or we could say, I need to put my shirts away. Separable. Do you see how we've separated them and put something in the middle? But some phrasal verbs, you just can't separate them. For example, to get over, which means to recover or to forget about something, to feel better after something has happened to you. So for example, a breakup, okay? We need to recover from this breakup, we need to feel better about this breakup, forget about it, but we can't say get the breakup over. That doesn't make sense. We have to say get over the breakup. We just can't separate that one. And there are some that you just need to separate. For example, drop off, which means to drive someone normally, or maybe cycle them to a place, say goodbye to them, and then leave. It's like, oh, I need my dad to drop me off at the airport in his car. But you can't say, my dad is going to drop off me at the airport. Doesn't work. My dad is going to drop me off at the airport. So unfortunately, I don't have an easy answer for you. I don't have just a rule that you can learn to make it easy. But all I can say to you is when you learn a phrasal verb, don't just learn the phrasal verb. Make sure you know if you can separate it or you can't separate it. This is big. This is the thing that will make you not sound like a native. If you're separating phrasal verbs that can't be separated, or you're not separating phrasal verbs that need to be separated, this is a big mistake. Okay, moving on to the next mistake, and this mistake involves these two phrasal verbs, get away and go away. What's the difference? What do you think? Is there a difference? Maybe there isn't. There is. Okay, one of these is a bit more aggressive than the others. It's a bit more... Which one do you think is a bit more getaway? Getaway normally implies there's some kind of struggle. So imagine someone is holding you and they're like, and you're trying to get away. There's something holding you back. You're like, I need to get away. Or we might say, oh, I'm so sick of work. I really need to get away. Meaning I really need to go on holiday. But that get away implies that your work is holding you back. Your work is the reason that you're not going on holiday and you feel tense. It's very different to go away. Go away, unless you're shouting it at someone, like, go away. Other than that, it's just quite soft. There's nothing really about it that's tense or angry. Okay, the next mistake that I hear quite a lot is another confusion. So a lot of the time people get these two phrasal verbs mixed up. So we've got to come across and to get across. Do you know the difference? See if you can predict it before I say it. Okay, so to come across means to discover something unexpectedly. So I was walking along the street and I came across a little dog. He was just there. Or we might use come across to talk about how you appear to other people. So we might say, oh, he came across as really weird. Or he came across a bit creepy. It's like how you appear to other people. However, get across is putting out a message to people, sending information, sending a message. I really want to get across the idea that this is not acceptable in the workplace. I want to get across that message. However, if you are the person listening to the message and receiving the message, we might use come across. So we might say, oh yeah, his message really came across. Okay, this next one is so common. I hear it all the time and it's to do with traveling places. So I always hear this. I went in Australia last week and I hope that one day I can go in China, okay? So the problem here is the in. So when we talk about traveling to a place, going to a place, even though you are in China when you go there and you are in Australia when you go there, we always say go to because you're talking about the whole journey. So, oh, I can't wait to go to China next week. Last week I went to the United States of America. Okay, so travel, journey. The whole time you were there, we still say go to, even though you were in the country. Go in is only really used for going inside of a building. So let's say I'm stood outside of a church and someone says to me, do you want to go in? Do you want to go in? I'm going inside of a building or a place, but not for traveling, not for journeys and visiting other countries. Okay, the seventh mistake that I hear quite a lot is people don't put the phrasal verbs into the correct tense. Phrasal verbs are not catchphrases. They're not these things that are always the same and we don't change anything about them. We have to change them into whatever tense you're talking about. Okay, the next common mistake I hear is the confusion between grow up and bring up. Grow up means exactly to yourself, I'm growing up, becoming an adult. Bring up means It's what the parents do. Exactly. Your parents bring you up. They help you grow. They raise you. Bring up means raise. So don't say, I grow up my children. You can't grow up for your children. It's only something we can do for ourselves. I grew up. Look at me. You bring up your children. You raise your children. You bring them up. You don't grow them up. So it depends on who's doing it. I grow up. I bring up my children. Take a look at this sentence. Tell me what word is missing. It depends the weather. It depends the weather. What do you think? On. It depends on the weather. This one, I always hear people getting this one wrong. It depends on, okay? Remember that, depend on. And that's about it. Like I said, phrasal verbs are horrible, but try to learn one a day and learn if they're separable or inseparable, and you will be absolutely fine. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe. We're trying to get to 115,000. Bye! And our Instagram is there. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Ta-ta!